I'm going to segue into my topic. We're talking about buying Isaac, an indie game. I want to know where you guys stand on indie game. No, I'm not segueing out of meth. I'm trying to go back to the indie thing.
Okay.
Indie games. Where do you guys stand on independently produced games?
Well, all pixels. They're all pixel games.
Oh, but they're not. Okay, sorry, go on.
Yeah, they're really not.
I mean, we've all had good experiences with indie games, haven't we?
Yeah. So
You named 2. Well done.
I've also been playing Darkest Dungeon recently, and that's been insane. And that's an indie game made out of.
How's Darkest Dungeon going?
It's pretty good. And it's early access, and probably shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there could be more hero classes. There could be more different types of dungeon. There could be, it's not like there's anything wrong with the game. It's like a finished, polished game.
You feel like the game is finished, or
it feels like it's a finished game, but it definitely could be more finished, unless it's like we're going to add more dungeons, hero classes, and stuff. It feels
like a finished game, but it definitely could be more
early
finished.
It's polished and everything. There's no bugs or anything like that.
Right.
I just feel just more content.
It's short on content. Okay, fair enough.
And there's just things like there's no end to the campaign at the moment. It just sort of goes endlessly, which is okay.
That was like my experience with DayZ, right? It's just like still an early access game.
It's never going to be completed.
No, it's never going to be completed because they're like,
why don't they just
we're going to add this, we're going to add this. I'm like, you know what? Just fix the game.
Yeah, why can't you add a map?
Make it fully operational. Can we find a map? Optimize it so I stop running at like 20 frames whenever I go near a building.
They should totally just put a map in random places.
Add a map.
Yeah, add a map.
You can get maps online. Like it's
just like you can look at it in game and it'll be.
There are, but the loot spawn of that.
I've never seen it.
But
like 5 hours.
like it's just like with these early access games. No, I wish they would just
my account
get like a solid amount of content out, make it work, then release it. You've got a finished product, release it.
Yeah.
In the case of DayZ, if you've got other things you want to add in, just patch it in later or like make it DLC or something. So long as you've got a full, complete game there to begin with,
DLC.
That's fine.
Like I feel like it's not indie, is it? Like, is it
not so much?
No.
Like it was.
It does.
It was like Minecraft, and then Minecraft just went.
I mean, it was originally a mod, so in a degree,
Yeah.
It doesn't get much more independent than modding.
It started out sort of indie-like, but see, I
but
feel
then it
like
got picked up by the production company that made it.
So what would
they need
Gary's
to
mod
redline features?
I don't know.
Gary's
mod is just a mod for the source.
Terrace in
engine,
Troubletown,
right?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
And
is it
all these
and it was
prop
built using the source engine, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Is it technically a mod? Like what game is it a mod of?
Well, you can just make games out of it, which is like mods. So,
but Gary's mod itself
is
like
just weird.
I don't know if it works.
I don't exactly know what it is.
So, why do you think indie games attract the sort of negative criticism that they so often do?
It's different.
I think it's in some ways it's like, well, if you're making an indie game and it's good, then why isn't it a AAA game?
It's like, stop trying to make games, stop trying to get into the business. And
I feel like a lot of these AAA games, they have a lot of money that goes in behind them, like huge teams, which obviously involve salaries, and then there's the huge marketing budget and everything.
Activision.
As well. So yeah, like exactly, Activision's a perfect example. Like there's got to be an element, like there's got to be an element of safety to it. They need a tried and tested formula that's going to work.
Closing my mic.
They need to know that they're going to sell copies, pretty much.
Yeah.
Right.
That's like,
and I feel like with indie games, it's sometimes a little bit more doubtful of that.
There's so much more like these days. There's so much more innovation out of indie games. I think you need a good balance.
Yeah.
Like AAA games have their strength, and it's they make really polished, refined, really good gameplay games, but like all of those,
they don't even these days. Like there's so many broken games, like that argument just doesn't stand.
Okay.
Destiny,
fair point. Rome
so
2,
broken.
But I think indie games take a lot more risks.
Yeah.
Also, they're cheaper, and they're I've had some great experiences with indie games where I can put 20 hours in.
Yeah.
And, it was $10. I feel like I've got my money's worth.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's, it's really good. Like, FTL was like that.
Yeah.
me.
Faster Than Light.
Yeah,
that's
Faster
good.
Than
That's
Light.
a good game.
It was really fun. Like I put in, I think about 20 hours, and then I'm like, you know what, I'm done with it. But
Yeah.
that was
It
really
is-
enjoyable.
I find that in recent memory, my best gaming experiences have been with indie games.
Yeah.
And they've been exceptionally good value for money as well. I mean,
Like look at Rebirth.
yeah, and
150 hours to 100% it is pretty common,
yeah,
and it's $15.
yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
What was the
do
last
the
indie game I
math
played?
to calculate how much you're paying per minute or whatever, but it's like next to
Well,
nothing.
it's like 15.
He's trying.
Nah.
Look at him go.
Nah.
But yeah, like I don't know why they've attracted negative attention. I don't know if people just assume because they don't have like the full power of a company behind them or whatever that they're gonna be of high enough quality.
It's just because it doesn't seem like it's polished, or they just want expert graphics, or
yeah, exactly.
I think
Yeah.
Physics and everything.
It's the graphics, but quite often gameplay
yeah,
wise in indie games, it's not so much the fact that even that isn't like super refined and stuff, because they don't have a massive team of programmers and stuff working behind it, but like I think you often get something so fresh out of an indie game which you just can't out of a AAA game, because they're less likely to take risks.
yeah, they're able to take more experiments.
Yeah, that's why they make Call of Duty again and again and again. Let's
Yeah.
make it in the future this time. Okay, that's cool, but
Like,
it's still the same game.
How many
Yeah, exactly.
how many AAA first person shooters does America pump out a year?
Yeah, but that's what the demand is. Like people love first person shooters. And that's tried and tested. It works.
I know, but it's stagnating for me.
Yeah.
Like I see a first person shooter and I just have no desire to play it because there's just so many.
Yeah. And I think if you go to Steam and look at like the top 10 selling things, maybe 50% of them are indie games.
And then
and like there are really high quality games out there, and I feel like if you do have a quality product, there is a demand for those now, and people jump on the opportunity to put down $15 for the latest and greatest indie game.
Yeah, like see, like Ubisoft always throwing out another Assassin's Creed every year, and it's like, okay, it's a good story, but same gameplay sort of. And I play it because I enjoyed the story. And I didn't really enjoy Unity. But then you look at Rockstar, and they throw out a game every 5 or 4 years. And that makes shitloads of money, like GTA 5 did.
$1 billion.
And if you look
24
at
hours.
what is it, Konami? I forget what it does. Metal Gear Solid.
Right, yeah.
Phantom Pain is coming out this year.
Yeah.
And they say it's one of the biggest open world games.
Yeah. Do you reckon that's the thing? People just like the scope of AAA games. They like the fact that a AAA game can be open world and have high fidelity graphics and just shows off the power of their console or PC.
Yeah.
Whereas indie games typically are done much lower budget. The graphics, take an interesting artistic approach.
And I
rather
reckon
than...
they're really good for someone like me who's running a decent power laptop which is a year old. Like most AAA games, like if I tried playing Unity, if I crank I got Total War Attila.
Yeah.
I crank it down to the lowest graphic settings, and like drivers haven't been released for this stuff yet. But I crank it down to the lowest graphic settings. I get, on the benchmark, I average like 20 frames per second.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's what's been great for my PS Vita is like these indie games you can just chuck on there. Generally, they're pretty small, so I can have just heaps of these games on there, and they're fantastic. I feel like generally because maybe they are sort of limited on a technological level. I don't think that's always the case. I want to make that clear. That's not always the case.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the time, these guys are just as well equipped as any AAA developer.
It's just the way they're creating the game.
But on some occasions, they sort of feel like to break out of the mold and to stand out, they've got to be sort of a bit more creative, and that's where you get the experimentation, and that's where you get things like Gone Home, which seek to tell sort of an emotional story.
The entire roguelike genre
With the dog
has...
and the boy?
No.
I'm thinking of a different
Like the roguelike genre almost lives in indie games.
Yeah.
Just because, like, what is it about AAA games and not going for sort of replay value? I mean...
trying to think of a game that
Yeah.
has
and also...
I think it just becomes an issue of time. And
they always focus on multiplayer, and it's the same thing over and over again.
Because what I love most about the indie scene is that I've been to PAX events like that where you actually meet face to face the people making these games, and they're gamers like ourselves that just want to contribute to the industry that they get so much out of. So they're gamers that have taken it upon themselves to try and build a game that they've always wanted to play, and I think that's why I find that the most admiring aspect. I think that's awesome. And why would us as gamers not like to play games built by other gamers?
Yeah, and also for me, graphics have never been a big deal.
No.
So
gameplay is priority.
Yeah, for
it's
me,
always priority.
Yeah, and you get like such, and also just experiencing a game which you've never really played anything like it before, or a game which is a really cool mix of ideas and genres, and I think it's opening, like they're laying the path for AAA games to polish and release those high graphical fidelity games based on the same ideas and risks that they've taken if they work super well.
That's why I like Insomniac games really well.
Not because in the studio, but go on.
Yeah, I know, but just they've got replay value on it.
Yeah,
because you go through the story again, and then you can get different upgrades.
So can you tell me what they've made?
Ratchet and Clank, Sunset Overdrive is the newest one, but Ratchet and Clank's the main series that they do.
Right, yeah. They made some of the original Spyros on the PS1.
Yeah, they made Spyro.
Okay.
They created Spyro, and just they got all these weird and wacky weapons and how to use them, and you can upgrade the weapons. And so if you complete the game, it has a good story all the time, and it's got it's meant for kids, but they have all these innuendos in there. And so just like for Sunset Overdrive, that's for adults. But they still have the innuendos in there. Yeah. But it's like all the weapons are all weird and wacky, like I said. And just replay value. It's awesome because I went through Ratchet and Clank. Up your arsenal, get it. Like
Insomniac's one of these studios that I feel like I've grown up with. Very much the same with Naughty Dog. Like my sort of introduction to video games was Crash Bandicoot and Spyro back in the PlayStation 1.
Jack and Daxter was.
And then as I sort of grew up a bit, whatever.
Stupid English.
I started moving into stuff like Jack and Daxter and the Ratchet and Clank games, and then now I'm playing stuff like The Last of Us and Uncharted. I've not played a Sunset Overdrive yet, but I very much would like to.
Yeah, I want to so much.
So I feel like those are developers that I have grown up with. Don't get me wrong; those are fantastic AAA developers, especially Naughty Dog. Going back to sort of indie thing though, another comment I wanted to make on that was that I really like it when larger publishers and stuff get behind them. For instance, I don't know if you guys know of Child of Light. Which isn't technically speaking an indie game. It was published by Ubisoft.
Yeah, but so that's like
well, they can be published by big
Rayman.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that game?
Rayman?
Rayman? Is that what it is?
No, it's not. It's not. It's nothing to do with Rayman at all.
No. But it's like Ubisoft created that as well.
They did. Yeah,
and that's like sort of. It looks indie, but it's not.
Rayman?
Yeah, it kind of does. Just because it's a side scroller.
Oh, I suppose.
Yeah, it's just got that sort of aspect. I didn't say it was.
Since when did indie games get the stigmatization of big side scrollers? Though?
Yeah,
like this,
lower budget. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them are, granted.
Yeah,
but some aren't.
Independent,
and there are AAA side scrolling games as well.
With the Child of Light.
But Child of Light, that was kind of a quirky game. Obviously, quite a different angle that to what Ubisoft usually do, and it is more closely aligned with indie games.
And one like best soundtrack,
and for that reason, I don't know,
like that. It
probably
had a good soundtrack,
but they sort of got on board with that and like, okay, let's do something different, and that's totally cool. Sony are doing a similar sort of thing with what's it called? What's that? That game coming out? The one in space, No Man's Sky. Thank you, No Man's Sky.
You're welcome.
I don't know why I thanked you guys. Have you guys heard of No Man's Sky at all?
Is that the one with the virtuality on? Or
well, it might do. We don't know.
I don't know this.
No Man's Sky is being developed by these like 2 or 3 guys. There's hardly anyone working on this game.
Okay.
And what it is it's set in essentially an infinite open world universe. So there is
Okay.
no end to this game. They've supposedly created this code that randomly generates just planets, animals, trees, ecosystems, everything. So you can pilot around in this universe of which you will never explore the entirety of, and to just explore planets. You can be like a space pirate. You can run into other space pirates.
They could
You
totally
can
just call this
hunt,
life.
You can explore planets. You can just do heaps of stuff.
It's all like
We actually
pixelated
kind of don't
or-
know the specifics about what the gameplay is.
What's
but-
the style? If it pixelated or
No, it's like it's kind of got a sort of interesting sort of art style.
Okay, so like
You know, it's not like
drawings or
Planet Side or Killzone or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
But yeah, it looks amazing.
Okay.
So this team, I think they're called Hello Games, have Sony sort of backing, and
That's
Sony
good.
are helping them sort of bring this to PS4. But I reckon that's awesome, having that sort of, you know, seeing like an indie team sort of doing something great and just having like support sort of rally behind them. A lot of people go to like Kickstarter or stuff for that kind of money, but I like the idea of corporations getting in on it too.
Yeah, no, I'm sort of like I'm all for them, but at the same time, I don't think that, you know, like by no means should people like discredit AAA games.
Yeah, no,
I thought-
for sure.
See, I didn't quite realize that indie games had that stigma attached to them.
Yeah, well, like I think it's better now than it used to be, but for a long time they sort of attracted a lot of vitriol on online forums, and you know, people just sort of looking down on them.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I think they're essential to the, you know, video game industry.
Yeah,
In the direction it's heading, like, you know, just
and even sort of on a storytelling level as well. They're
Yeah.
really sort of, you know,
The
making
stories are good.
advances there and forcing
Yeah.
AAA games. To
and also
pay more
how
attention to that.
how many AAA companies would be willing to take the risk of having, you know, someone's mother hear the voice of God and try and kill them?
Yeah,
Like, you can't get that sort of story from AAA.
it's true. It is true.
Like they like the backlash against it, but because it's an
They try to
indie
think of a
game,
game.
they're sort of, they're all good. They don't have to worry about
Yeah.
so much about that sort of, you know,
Yeah.
political correctness.
Bob's hiding behind his pop filter. Yeah, I do want to state though that I've got nothing against AAA games. I do very much like them. You know, I'm a big fan of the Battlefield franchise, despite some of its pitfalls. But
Total War's AAA, and it makes
Yeah.
my heart melt.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Destiny.
just and Destiny. Yeah,
I
just
fucking hate that game, but I'm addicted to it.
says the
it's
man
a
that's played
piece of
10
shit.
days of it.
Fucking fix it. Have so many glitches in it.
You said 200
Still more.
240 hours?
That's why I have so many hours on it, because I haven't fucking fixed it.
You just keep going back every day. I wonder if they fixed it. Oh, they're not. Well, I'm
um,
here now.
wait,
Might as well play some more.
When did Destiny come out? How many months ago?
September last year.
Okay.
September 2014.
I'm just saying, I put 600 hours into Rome 2 across a year in year 12.
600 hours.
Yeah, but I play different games.
600 hours. I don't think I've ever played a game that much.
No, this is the most I've ever played a game.
Wow, you guys suck.
I think Hayden has
I've played
1,012 on
collectively. Probably I've played you know days, weeks, months.
TF2. If
Maybe.
you check Hayden's
But-
Steam, I think it's like 1,012 hours on TF2.
Jesus.
See, I know, but that's the thing. It's a bit of a Total War thing. Like, you look at a lot of Total War players, they'll be like 1,000 hours.
Yeah.
And they just make money off it.
But I remember the Bad Company games. I probably put a lot of hours into those. Battlefield 3, I put probably about 100 hours in. Battlefield 4, I probably put in the same amount. I probably put over maybe close to 300 across like all versions of DayZ. So I'm probably about the 150 mark on the standalone game. I probably put similar sort of amount of time into the mod as well.
Yeah.
I think Modern Warfare 2 I played about a week of 7 days.
Okay,
which was a solid amount.
Yeah. That's 7 times 24,
Yeah,
whatever.
Never played it.
Fair amount.
Well, on friends' houses.
I'm trying to think what else I would have played a lot of. Oh, I remember my brother and I played Hot Pursuit 2 on the PS2. We played it so much that the pause screen was burnt onto the screen. So we
wow.
whatever, like, light globes they used to do that
back then.
we destroyed the the crystals in that area, whatever, how it works. But like you'd be watching something else on TV and you could see the pause screen.
It's just
like hovering above it.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That's pretty good.
It was probably partially just playing it so much and partially just leaving it on pause
For ages.
Yeah. But man, that was an amazing game.
No, I generally like
what game?
Need for Speed, Hot Pursuit 2
Okay,
on the PS2.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The only Need for Speed I ever put any decent time into was Carbon, I think.
Also a great game.
Yeah. But I was I generally like to put like a really solid amount of hours into a game, especially if I'm playing a AAA game.
Yeah.
I'll want to put 100 hours into it, just because I think it's I want to feel like I've gotten my money's worth.
That's what
Right.
GTA 5.
Yeah.
Sort
We
of
can
thing.
all play together.
Generally speaking, you sort
Mods.
of purchase less games than most, I would
Yeah,
say.
yeah. Like the amount of games which I've really ever played, I could probably count on my fingers.
Yeah, right.
I can't.
Yeah, I couldn't count my fingers and toes.
Yeah. Like me, I could go through and I could say, Vice City.
Yeah.
Was like the first game I ever put any real time into. Oh wait, no, sorry, Crazy Taxi.
Crazy Taxi!
Come on over, let's play some Crazy Taxi.
We lost the light globe. There you go.
No.
One of the light globes blew. I didn't notice. Oh well. The shot still looks light enough. Away with the light globe and away with the podcast. I think we'll draw it to an end.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Thank you all for joining us. Yeah, I've got to get on.
I've only had an apple all day.
Lunchtime for you, sir.
I know.
Thanks for joining us again, guys.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us on your lovely
Even though I
podcast.
said bye, and I probably just destroyed the audio, but okay.
It's all right. It looks okay. Well,
I look so small. I guess
I will draw a
it's
close to the Pause podcast. Thanks again for joining us. Don't forget that you can listen to us on both SoundCloud and now iTunes as well. I'm breaking up the YouTube video now, so
breaking
individual
up.
topics are uploaded sort of every
You meant breaking up with me.
second day. So expect the podcast audio version every second Friday. Starting on the 20th, this one will go up then, and then the video in the weeks after. I've been your host, Ewan. You can follow me on Twitter at Ewan_Roxbro.
Goddamn Twitter.
You guys don't tweet at all, do you?
No, I used to have one, but
We've
then I'm
been
like,
your guests, Kieran Tierney and Bob Barry.
I'm Callum Barry.
Thanks, Kieran.
Bob Barry.
Damn it.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.